The cafe buzzed softly with the low hum of chatter, gossip swirling like steam from fresh coffee cups, the scent of buttery cakes hanging in the air, and a gentle piano melody playing somewhere behind the counter. I leaned back in my chair, sipping my drink with a loud, deliberate eyes locked on the man sitting across from me. Lavier Knightley, the campus heartthrob, the kind of perfect you see on magazine covers and think, no way that's real. 6'2", sharp cheekbones that could cut glass, dark purple hair that looked like it belonged in a fantasy novel, and golden eyes that no joke probably made angels jealous. Today, he was dressed like a prince who'd just decided to go casual, crisp white tee, black jeans, and that effortless, I woke up like this, vibe. People kept stealing glances his way, like he was some kind of royalty strolling through mere mortals. But right now, this golden retriever of a guy usually composed, famous, untouchable was awkwardly fidgeting in front of me, fingers tapping, then rubbing his head like he'd just realized he forgot how to human. Are you sure you've come to the right person? I raised an eyebrow, folding my arms. He nodded so fast it was almost cute. Yes, if not you, then who? You're the closest to her. I believe you're the one who can help. And trust me, I'm not asking for free. In return, anything you want. Food, shopping trips, whatever. Just say the word. He leaned on the table, eyes shining, desperate enough to make a puppy look like a fierce guard dog. Okay, so here's the deal. Lavier Knightley, the campus golden boy with more admirers than I have fingers, was head over heels in love with my best friend, Livia Brooks. Smart, beautiful, queen of the campus, and all-around legend. And Lavier, sweet and awkward enough to need my help, their childhood best friend, Tim Cranes. Me, the sassiest, most confident guy around, with a face way too pretty for a dude and a reputation that could fill stadiums. Anyway, here I was, sitting in a fancy, calm cafe that smelled like freshly brewed coffee and warm chocolate, with Lavier sitting right across from me, shy as ever, nervously fidgeting with his fork and eyeing his half-eaten cake like it might save him. Will you help me or not? He finally asked, voice barely above a whisper. I smirked and took the last sip of my drink. I will, but first, pay the bill. The waiter appeared just then, and without hesitation, Lavier pulled out his card and paid instantly, all smooth and obedient like he'd been waiting for this moment forever. Dude was the richest guy on campus, no contest. What else could I do? He could literally turn my life into a cake-filled paradise. How could I say no? Honestly, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that Lavier Knightley, the campus golden boy, everyone's dream guy, is hopelessly in love with my best friend Livia. People literally throw hearts at him everywhere he goes, and here he was pining for my ugly bestie. Well, maybe she's ugly to me because we're practically siblings and I've seen every side of her, but that's another story. Anyway, focus. So, when do we start? What do I have to do? He asked, voice eager but still a little nervous. I took a small bite of the rich chocolate cake, nodded thoughtfully, then pushed back the dark silky hair that kept falling over my ears. Dramatically, I said, first, let's make sure she even knows you exist. I pulled out my phone and dialed Livia. Hello, Tim, what's up? Came her soft, calm voice. Lavier's eyes went wide, and I swear I caught him blushing. Wow, love really makes a guy soft. Nothing much, just hanging out with someone special, I said, casting a quick glance at Lavier. Who? She asked, curiosity clear in her tone. Lavier, I replied coolly. Oh, I see, what are you two up to? She teased, obviously catching on that he was right there listening. Nothing much, just checking if you know him, I said, trying to sound casual. She laughed. Of course I know him. Who doesn't? Right, okay, hang up now, I said, cutting the call. I looked over at Lavier. Get up, let's get to work already. He gave me those big, literal puppy eyes, nodded, and followed as I grabbed my bag and headed out, ready to start this crazy mission. Walking beside him made me feel like a toddler. I'm not small, okay. I'm 5 feet 9 inches. That's not short at all. It's just, he's ridiculously tall and annoyingly good looking, with that expensive seedy royalty vibe that made me a little dizzy. Where are we going? He asked, confused but obediently following me, completely oblivious to all the people passing by who kept glancing his way. Library, I replied. She's always in the library around this time. I'm sure she's hunting for some book. Help her with that, then talk. Talking's important. It's how any relationship moves forward. Okay. He looked at me like I'd just solved the world's hardest math problem and nodded. Seriously, he was way too cute and handsome for my poor eyes to handle. Save me. We got to the library, and I searched until I spotted Livia sitting alone in a corner, working on her laptop with a pile of books and glasses perched on her nose. I pulled out my phone and called her, hiding behind a bookshelf while Lavier stood behind me, awkwardly watching the whole thing. "Hello, girl, I didn't call randomly to bother you," I said, trying to sound casual. "Just wanted to know, did you find that book you've been searching for since yesterday?" She sighed instantly. "Nope, still can't find it, curse my luck." I nodded knowingly, then cut the call and pulled up pictures of the book on my phone. "What are you doing?" Lavier whispered, hiding behind the bookshelf like a cute, naive giraffe hiding behind a tree. "The book. This one." I showed it to him. "Go find it and talk to her." "She didn't find it here." "How am I supposed to find it then?" he asked, confused. "Gosh, you're dumb," I said, rolling my eyes. "You don't actually have to find it, genius. Just go to the bookshelf beside her, mutter the book's name like you're searching for it, then casually walk over to her and ask if she's seen it. She'll probably say no and curse a little, then ask how you're looking for it, and boom, you've got an opening to talk. Easy as eating cake." He blinked at me like I created gravity, then said, "Oh my god. You're a genius." "Yeah, from childhood," I smirked. "Now memorize this book and a few facts about it, then go." He stared at the phone and nodded, but then asked nervously, How do I talk to her?" "I feel." He rubbed his hair, clearly shy. "There's nothing to be shy about. Just go with the flow. The more naturally you talk, the more comfortable she'll feel," I said, determined. He stared at me before nodding slowly, ready to go. But I stopped him. "Wait, where are you going already? What's the reward for doing all this?" I crossed my arms. He sighed casually, pulling out his credit card and handing it to me. Then he fixed his clothes and hair, ready to start the plan. I stared at the card, then at him. Wow, being that rich must be tiring. HMPH, he's too much, maybe I'll make him broke by spending it all. But then I watched him nervously fidget with the books while sneaking glances at Livia. I smiled slightly. I headed to the store and bought every snack my eyes landed on, eating my way back to my work spot. They were sitting together, talking. I saw Lavier smile and stare at Livia whenever she wasn't looking. Damn, he was nervous but trying. His gaze was so soft and gentle, anyone could fall for it, even me. Gosh, stop thinking nonsense. Love's too troublesome. I'll just eat and enjoy my life. I went to the store, got bunch of pyramid of snacks, then found a table, sat down, played games on my phone, eating and kept sneaking glances at them. A long time passed as I kept glancing over at them. Eventually, they finished talking. Livia smiled, gathered her books, and left the library. Lavier finally turned and walked toward me, his steps light like he was floating. "You alive?" I asked, turning off my phone. Lavier blinked at me, then dramatically grabbed his head. We talked so much, my heart's doing backflips." "That's called love," I said with a shrug. She gave me her number," he said like he couldn't believe it himself. "Great, so text her." He panicked. "No, not now, I'm scared, let me process this sacred moment first," he said, a small smile tugging at his lips. Then he glanced at my hands. "What did you get yourself?" I handed him his credit card. I wanted to make it go blank and bankrupt you, but it had way too much money. And I'm not that big of an idiot. "Why not?" he asked with a raised brow. "I'd rather have your money near me than steal it. Looks less criminal. Anyway, I did buy snacks. I've finished them all, so no proof to show." I shrugged calmly like an honest thief. He blinked a few times, then smiled. "Let's go back then," he said with a soft chuckle, walking ahead of me. And me, I had already memorized that chuckle. Damn, it was hot. We walked along the dimly lit road under the starry sky, side by side. His scent lingered in the air, so annoyingly good it clouded my nose and my thoughts. When we reached the dorm building, he turned to me. "Which dorm room are you?" 209, I replied casually. "Oh," he pouted. "I'm in 204. If only we shared a dorm you could help me more." Before I could respond, he added with a grin, "Why don't you come to my apartment next time and help me there? Maybe with texting her, since I clearly suck at that too." "So yeah, you're helping me." He smiled so widely it could have lit up the whole hallway. I stared at him, sighed dramatically, and muttered, yeah, fine. He followed behind me as we entered the building. The next day, after classes, I found myself standing in front of Lavier's ridiculously expensive apartment. I knocked once, and the door opened instantly like he'd been waiting all day. "You're late," he said, pretending to be serious. He was wearing sweatpants and a loose shirt. Still somehow looked like a model from a perfume ad. Annoying. "You said 5 p.m. It's literally 5:02. Chill, drama queen," I said, walking past him like I owned the place. The place was insane. White marble floors, a couch that probably cost more than my entire semester, and the scent of vanilla and expensive laundry filled the air. "So, texting," I said, dropping onto the couch and opening my phone like a boss. Lavier sat beside me with all the nervous energy of a middle schooler before a crush confession. "I drafted something, but I don't know if it sounds desperate." He showed me. "Hey, it was nice talking to you today, I hope you got home safe." I stared at it, then stared at him. "You sound like a customer care service." He blinked. "What? You gotta be soft, casual, but still flirty enough to make her heart flutter, okay? Watch and learn." I took his phone and rewrote it. "Hey nerd, don't tell me you're already buried under books again. It was kinda fun talking earlier. Don't ghost me now." Lavier's eyes widened like I just hacked into NASA. "That sounds like flirting." "Exactly." He panicked. "But what if she thinks I'm too bold?" "Bold is better than boring. Trust me." He stared at the message for a few seconds, then hit send like it physically hurt him. I watched him squirm, hiding behind a pillow as if it could protect him from her reply. "You're impossible," I laughed, grabbing a soda from the fridge without asking. "Also, your apartment's too clean. Live a little. Throw a sock on the floor." Before he could whine again, his phone buzzed. He froze. I froze. The world froze. He unlocked it with shaky fingers, read the message, then broke into a slow smile. "Lol, who are you calling a nerd? I just got back. It was fun talking. Didn't expect that from you though." He looked at me like I was a wizard. She replied, "Yes, lover boy, welcome to the world of texting." I grinned. He launched himself into a pillow, muffling a squeal. "I think I love her more now." "Relax. One text doesn't mean marriage," I said, rolling my eyes. "Now what's your dinner plan? Since I helped you, I demand food." "Fine. Order anything you want. My card's in the drawer." I opened the drawer and blinked. "Why is there a gold card, with diamonds on it?" "Limited edition," he shrugged. I stared at him. "You really are too rich for your own good." I ordered enough food to feed a small village. If I'm helping this lovesick puppy, I'm gonna eat like royalty too. While we waited, Lavier flopped onto the couch beside me, legs pulled up, hair a little messy, eyes still glued to his phone like it was showing him the meaning of life. "She's typing again," he whispered, barely breathing. "Oh God, just marry her already," I muttered, scrolling through my own phone. He chuckled softly. "I don't know why, but she makes me feel nervous and peaceful at the same time. Like I want to impress her but also just listen to her talk for hours." I glanced at him. That soft smile on his face wasn't the dramatic, "I'm a prince" grin he always wore. This one was gentler, honest. "You really like her, huh?" I asked, my voice accidentally softer than I expected. He nodded slowly, still staring at his screen. "Yeah, she's different. The way she talks, the way she reads even in noisy places, she's like a calm song playing in chaos. Makes me feel like I belong." That hit deeper than expected. I looked away, suddenly aware of how quiet the room was. "Okay Shakespeare, relax. Don't start writing poetry now." He laughed, nudging me lightly with his shoulder. "You're jealous." "PFF'd, of what?" "Your dramatic monologues, please," I scoffed, pretending to scroll again. Just then the food arrived, thank God. We sat on the floor like kids, boxes spread out like a mini feast. "So if I get married before you, you'll be my best man, right?" he asked, chewing a dumpling. I raised an eyebrow. "You're already planning a wedding?" "We just sent one text." "I like to be prepared," he said with a smug grin. I stared at him for a second. "Fine, I'll be your best man. But only if I get to write a speech roasting you to hell." He grinned wider. "Deal." We both laughed. Well, I tried laughing, feeling a bit down I guess, and for a second it felt too warm. Too soft. He looked at me suddenly, serious. "Hey, I'm glad you helped me." "Really?" I blinked. "Well, someone has to save you from dying single." He didn't laugh this time. Just gave me a look, one of those unreadable ones. I don't think I've ever been this comfortable with someone before, he said quietly. My stomach did a weird flip. I threw a napkin at him. Shut up and eat. You're being emotional. It's gross. He laughed again, but softer this time. Thanks. Seriously. I didn't say anything back. Just kept eating, pretending I wasn't slightly flushed for no reason. It was a brand new day, sun shining, birds chirping, and my patience already wearing thin. Livia had asked me to come shopping with her. I, being the loyal love-suffering wingman I am, politely refused. I have work, I said. She doesn't. Need to know that work means dragging Prince Purple Sparkle, aka Lavier, through his first romance like I'm Cupid with a migraine. And now here I was at the shopping mall, crouched behind a pillar like a weirdo criminal, watching Livia browse through dresses while Lavier stood beside me acting like we were on a military spy mission. What do we do today? He whispered, eyes serious like he was about to enter battle. Many things, I said, fixing my invisible tie like a mafia boss. But first, I dramatically turned to the men's section. I strutted toward the clothing racks, fingers gliding over hoodies, shirts, and overpriced pants like I was the child of fashion and chaos. Every time something shiny caught my eye, I whipped around and threw it at Lavier. Hold this. Foom. Hoodie. Add that. Thump. Fancy pants. What about this one? I held up a glittery shirt that screamed, I eat diamonds for breakfast. Lavier blinked at it like it might explode, then nodded solemnly, got a cart, and started dumping all my chosen chaos into it without complaint. Yes, Prince, I smirked. Now go pay for it, then we begin Operation Make Her Yours. Like a well-trained servant in AK drama, Lavier went to the counter, paid like a sugar daddy, and stashed the bags at the pickup point. I swear if he had a tail, it would have been wagging. Okay, I whispered, pulling him behind another pillar like we were avoiding snipers. Now, go to her. Be casual, compliment her. If she picks up a dress, say, oh that's pretty, you'd look beautiful in it. Easy. Lavier stood straight like a soldier being given war orders, then saluted me mentally and walked toward Livia. I crouched back behind the pillar, praying to every god of humor to make this a mess. And boy, they heard me. He reached her, awkwardly shuffled next to her, and said, every dress here will look good on you, I mean yes you. You're so pretty that you'd look good in anything. He sounded like a squirrel experiencing a panic attack. Livia blinked but smiled, clearly amused. Right, if you want, you can help me pick a nice dress. And then it happened. The moment of doom. Yes, so many dress, he said like a dying car engine. Just tell me which one you want, I'll get it. I can buy them all if you want. Pause. What did you just say? Livia raised her eyebrows like a queen catching a peasant stealing grapes. Lavier blinked rapidly. Nothing. I meant this one, try this. And this man, this walking embarrassment, reached out and handed her a bra. From the shelf. Bra. I swear the world stopped. Livia's cheeks turned pink. Her soul left her body. She stared at the bra like it had personally betrayed her. Lavier looked at it, looked at her, then realized what he had done and instantly put it back like it burned him. Me. I was on the floor. Gone. Dead. Laughing so hard I almost got us kicked out. Pick me up or bury me in the changing room. I don't care anymore. My soul left my body. I'm suing him for emotional damage. Lavier looked like he wanted to teleport to the moon. He stood frozen, hands in his pockets, face redder than ketchup on a heatwave. I crawled back behind the pillar, still wheezing. Oh my god, someone give that boy a script before he causes a shopping apocalypse. While acting all cool like he hadn't just handed a bra to his crush, Lavier scratched his hair, his cheeks redder than a boiled lobster. Livia let out an awkward giggle, clearly trying to recover from the lingerie attack. They started talking again, casually, like we hadn't just witnessed the most tragic wingman move of the decade. I sighed. Please don't mess up again, I thought, backing away to hide behind another pillar before they saw me. But, of course, fate had plans. Wham! I bumped into someone, face first into what felt like a walking brick wall, if bricks smelled like fresh cologne and rich boy confidence. Oh, sorry, I mumbled, looking up. There he stood, tall, black shirt hugging his body like it was tailored by gods. Black jeans, sharp jawline, a smile that could cause global warming. I blinked. It's okay. Oh, and you're the same guy from the library, right? He asked. The one who had that whole pyramid of snacks. My soul left my body. Hey, that yeah, I laughed awkwardly. Why must the snack pyramid haunt me everywhere? That was impressive, he chuckled. You're cute. I paused. Error 404, brain not found. Thanks. That day was long, okay. And I was hungry. Don't judge me, I grinned, praying he wouldn't bring it up in front of anyone else. He laughed, easy and smooth. No judgment. I'm Damien, by the way. I'm Tim. Nice to meet ya, I said. And don't go spreading the snack story. I got a reputation to keep. I'm mysterious, dangerous, emotionally unavailable, you know. He laughed again. You're funny. Yeah, sure. My whole life is a joke, I said dramatically, flipping my hand. Seriously, you're adorable. He raised a hand, reaching up to pat my hair like I was a stray kitten he wanted to adopt, but before his hand could land, yoink, someone grabbed my arm and dragged me aside like I was being arrested. I blinked. What, Tim, what are you doing? Lavier asked. His face was calm, but that glance he gave Damien could have frozen lava. Talking, I replied, raising an eyebrow. You shouldn't talk to strangers. Sir, you handed a bra to your crush 5 minutes ago. Calm down. We're not strangers, Damien said, smile still sweet but eyes watching Lavier now. We know each other's names. Also, we're in the same department. He turned his head slightly. Wait, purple hair, oh, I've seen you before. You're the purple prince of campus, right? Lavier. Lavier gave the most polite eye roll I'd ever seen. Yes, that's me, he said like someone had just forced him to admit he was a TikTok influencer. Anyway, we have work to do. Excuse us. Before I could even blink, he pulled me away like I was a sack of potatoes and marched down the corridor while Damien waved at me with that please call me later smirk. What's wrong with you? I asked, yanking my arm away. You're acting like I cheated on you in AK drama. Lavier blinked, back to puppy mode like someone had flipped a switch. What were you doing? Don't you know it's not right to talk to people you don't know? Why do you care? I asked, arms crossed. You were busy flirting with your crush. I was bored, okay. So I talked. A little. If you were bored you could have just called me. I'd come back to you. His voice softened like melted butter. His eyes looked hurt, almost emotional. Why'd you leave your crush to come back to me? Because. He looked away. You're my friend. I've taken you as my best buddy. Someone dear to me, and I'm the type of person who hates sharing. Once I even slightly like something or someone I don't want anyone else near them. He looked at me. And you? You're someone I've taken as my bestest buddy and companion. So no, I can't just let you hang out with strangers. The sincerity, the emotion, the jealous puppy vibes. I was not okay. My heart did a full cartwheel and then faceplanted. I looked away, trying not to combust. Yeah well whatever, I muttered. So you're done talking to Livia? No, he said casually. But seeing you with that guy made me leave her and come to you. What if you got in trouble? I'm not a baby, okay. I said sharply. Don't do that again. Next time, prioritize your crush. Got it? He stared at me for a long moment before slowly nodding. Okay, he said, but his eyes told me he had no intention of ever doing that, and he, himself didn't realize that. Our attention diverted when, out of nowhere, Livia called out to me. How the hell did she even notice me? Lavier, what the hell? I exclaimed, seeing Lavier vanish like smoke, clearly not wanting to face Livia. Great, now I'm stuck alone in this. Livia stormed toward me and smacked my head. What are you doing here? You didn't come when I asked you, she said, beating me like a typical Asian mom. Calm down, geez, my work was done, so I came to accompany my bestie, haha. I laughed, hugging her arm. She just hummed and handed me a white shirt. I got this for you. Take it and try it on. You're wearing this to the school function next week, she said, giving me a beautiful white silk shirt with glittering little stars on the chest and long, loose sleeves. It was a stunning pic. She knew my taste too well, of course. It's pretty. I like it, but can I not try it now? I'm too lazy to change, I whined. Get your ass in the changing room now. I'm waiting. She glared at me. I sighed and walked into the changing room next door, only to nearly die from a heart attack. What the hell are you doing here? I shouted, seeing Lavier casually leaning against the wall like some damn runway model until he noticed me. What are you doing here? He asked. I quickly closed the door before Livia could notice. She asked me to try on the clothes she picked for the school function next week, I said in a low voice. Oh, you're attending? I nodded. Guess I'll attend too, he said casually. Seriously, that's not the important topic here, you dumb prince. Why are you hiding in here? Now get out, I need to change, I hissed. I can't go, she's outside, I don't wanna face her. I'm embarrassed, he said, laughing awkwardly. I sighed, fine, but stay quiet and turn around. Let me change, we're both guys, he pointed out. Yeah, so what, being guys doesn't mean I'll just strip in front of you. Turn around, genius. He nodded like a scolded puppy and turned around. I quickly turned my back to him, took off my clothes, and slipped into the new shirt, buttoning it up. The sleeves flowed comfortably, and I nodded approvingly. That girl really has taste. It's comfy too, I muttered to myself, turning around, only to freeze. He was facing the mirror. That means, he saw me changing, from the back at least. That should be fine. Right. Then why am I so flustered? I looked at Lavier and frowned. Why do you look like a tomato? He looked like he'd seen a ghost, his face red, neck red, eyes downcast. He awkwardly laughed but didn't respond. How do I look? I asked casually, shrugging in the shirt. Very good, he whispered, his ears turning redder. He covered his mouth, then looked at me from head to toe, his eyes pausing at my waist. What, do you ever plan to get a tattoo? He asked suddenly. I blinked. No. Why? Good. Tattoos would totally ruin your beautiful skin. You shouldn't get any, especially on your waist. You've got a little mole there, it's cute, he blurted out before realizing what he'd said. He immediately covered his ears, then his mouth, not sure which to hide first. In me, my soul was having a vacation in the heavens. WTF, that's not something you say to a best buddy, right? Or am I going crazy? Dude, stop, that's literally something you say to your crush, not your buddy, idiot. I said, rubbing the back of my neck. He rubbed his face like he was trying to erase the moment, then slowly nodded at my words. Okay, don't talk, I'll go out and show her the shirt, distract her, and you sneak out in the meantime. Got it, he nodded. I stepped out to show Livia the outfit. Her eyes scanned the shirt, and she nodded approvingly. Meanwhile, Lavier quietly snuck out of the room. I went back in to change into my regular clothes. Let's go, let's pay and eat. I'm hungry, she said as I followed. Let me pay, I offered. Why, I'm paying, isn't that enough? She said, glaring. At the counter, like a mom with her awkward kid, she paid while chatting with the employee. I stood behind her, fidgeting awkwardly when suddenly a voice whispered near my ear. Hello, I jumped and held my ear. The breath had tickled me. I turned and saw Damien. Oh, hi, you scared me, I said, sorry for that. Also, I couldn't help but tell you, you looked really good in that dress, he said, smiling. Oh, you saw, yeah, I was passing by and happened to see. Is that your friend? He asked, looking at Livia. Yes, I nodded. Where's the purple prince then? He asked. Good question, I don't know where he vanished either, I muttered, looking around. Just then, I spotted Lavier hiding behind a wall. When he saw me, his eyes twinkled and he smiled, rushing over, only to pause mid-step when he noticed Damien. You're talking again, Lavier said, standing beside me and eyeing Damien like he was some low-level bug. Damien didn't flinch, he just smiled back, too strong for his own good. Let's go. Oh Lavier, you're here too, Livia said, coming over with the shopping bag. She glanced at Damien. Who's this? Before I could answer, Lavier stepped in. I don't know, just some stranger who keeps bothering Tim. Right, he said, like a bratty child complaining. Livia's eyebrows furrowed. Is that so? She instantly grabbed my wrist. Then please excuse us, she said coldly, her usual protective mode kicking in. Wait, we're not actually strangers. If you want, we can get acquainted. Tim, maybe we could exchange numbers. Damien said, smiling at me. Again, before I could speak, Livia cut in, mad now, dragging me away. Sorry, but I don't let my friend give his number to just any random stranger. Please don't disturb him again. She marched away, pulling me along. Lavier, as if satisfied with his win, smirked at Damien before following us. Damien's smile faded just a little as he watched us leave. You two look close, Livia said after we got some snacks. She had just seen me scolding Lavier for all the shopping I did earlier, because I wasn't sure how to carry everything back without Livia suspecting anything. I asked Lavier to somehow get it back to my dorm. He said he'd get someone to shift it. Now, not sure how to reply, I awkwardly giggled. While Lavier answered smoothly, we're good buddies. I awkwardly nodded. Livia gave us a long look. You two look good together, she smiled sheepishly before walking ahead. I blinked, confused, while Lavier looked, weirdly happy. What are you smiling for? I asked. I don't know. It felt good. He giggled. After Livia left, saying she had assignments to do, Lavier called his driver to pick us up. He even got my shopping bags loaded into the car. I was shocked seeing the car. It was sparkling, expensive, I couldn't even remember the brand. Inside, the driver drove smoothly while I tried to hide my surprise. Lavier kept sneaking glances at me, but looked away every time I met his eyes. What? I asked. He shook his head, shrugging. Anyway, let's practice while we reach, I said. He nodded. Okay. Pretend I'm Livia. You're taking me on a walk. What do you say? Lavier nervously looked at the ceiling. The sky looks blue today. I sighed. Brilliant. Astounding. What a man, seeing blue sky in a car. I clapped my hands. He pouted. I'm trying. Don't make fun of me. Fine. Let's try something else. Compliment me. He stared at me. You have really nice hair. I blinked. Is that a real compliment or are you imagining Livia's hair? Lavier, as if lost, mumbled, yours looks soft too. I blinked again. Huh. He immediately panicked. I mean, as Livia, if Livia had your hair. Not that I think about touching it or anything. I mean I'm totally imagining Livia's hair, yeah. Right. I smiled. If you were to compliment me, what would you say? You have a nice waist. Silence. The driver coughed. I blinked, and Lavier's eyes widened. Seriously, you're too hilarious, weird purple head. I burst into laughter. Lavier awkwardly rubbed his hair, freezing in his spot, then slowly smiled. Right, I'm weird, he whispered. After dropping me at the dorm, he left in his fancy car. I went in, took a shower, and lay on my bed. I couldn't help but remember what happened today. My heart beat louder the more I thought about Lavier. It felt wrong. Dear heart, please don't beat for someone who isn't for you, I whispered, hugging my pillow as I drifted into sleep. The next day in class, I sat lazily in my seat, bored out of my mind, typing on my laptop that looked like it time traveled from the 90s and had decided to give up on life. And I was too broke to buy another one. Fuck it, I whispered under my breath. Oh, didn't expect you to be someone who curses, someone suddenly said from behind. I glanced back to see Damien. Oh, hi, I smiled. And you expected wrong. You don't know the infinity shades of curses I know. I'm no saint, I sighed, making him laugh. He leaned on his desk, resting his face on his palm, looking at me. Your laptop's not working, I can take a look at it for you, he offered. Before I could even reply, a bag landed on my table with a loud thud, snatching our attention. Lavier, what happened? I asked, already knowing it was him. He was dressed in a dark shirt and ripped jeans, and the second he entered, the classroom exploded into whispers and fangirling. Lavier's eyes were locked onto Damien, glaring, before he walked over and sat beside me. I opened my mouth to ask what was wrong, but he reached out, grabbing my face, not roughly, but firmly, and turned it away from Damien, facing me forward. The teacher will be here. Don't talk, he said seriously, pulling his books out. I blinked and nodded awkwardly, sitting still. As class continued, my laptop, of course, did not revive. No, no, no. Not now, you toaster-looking traitor. I smacked it. Work. I need to check my project, idiot. Lavier leaned over and whispered, your laptop's broken. It looks like it's dying. Totally dead. Gone. May it rest in pixel hell, I muttered. I'll fix it, he said. I blinked. You can fix tech. Lavier casually took his phone and started texting. No, but someone at Apple can. They'll deliver a new one to your dorm in 2 hours. You won't have to do anything. I stared at him. Wait, what? No, I don't need a new one. Just some duct tape and hope. Lavier, calm as ever, replied, but the new one is purple. It matches your notebook. And my hair. You ordered a purple MacBook. I gasped. Yeah, also, he pulled a dessert box from his bag, matching lavender cupcakes. I glared at him but took the box anyway. You're lucky I can be bought with cake, I muttered, smiling as I mentally prayed for the class to end quickly so I could eat. Lavier watched me, chuckling to himself. But his smile vanished the moment Damien leaned in and said, oh, you like cakes? If I knew, I'd have brought some for you too. Before I could respond, Lavier cut in coldly. No need, I'm here for that. Damien gave a tight smile and finally turned to Lavier. Dude, do you hate me or something? Why can't you just let us talk? Yes, I hate you. So stay away, Lavier replied bluntly. I sighed, glaring at him. Shut up, I mouthed. Lavier rolled his eyes but nodded like an obedient puppy. I turned to Damien with a small smile. Sorry, don't mind him. And thanks, but it's okay, don't bother. Damien gave me a gentle smile and nodded before backing off. As soon as class ended, Damien called out like he wanted to say something, but before I could even look his way, Lavier grabbed my hand and snatched my bag, dragging me out of the classroom like a man on a mission. We ran toward the cafeteria, and I was completely confused, until I noticed Livia sitting with her friends at a corner table. Oh, is this why you were so desperate to get me out of class? You could have just said so, I said casually. Lavier, however, wasn't looking at Livia. He was staring at the entrance, eyes scanning like a hawk. What are you looking at? I asked, confused. Just checking if that guy's coming here too, he muttered. That made me even more confused. Wait, you mean Damien? Why do you care if he's coming? Aren't we here for Livia? He finally turned to me, genuinely confused. Livia, where? I blinked. There. Didn't you bring me here to help you talk to her? I pointed toward Livia. He looked in her direction like he was seeing her for the first time. Oh yeah, right, maybe, yeah, he laughed awkwardly, finally letting go of my hand. I rolled my eyes. Okay, here's the plan. Go over to her, give her a smile, and if you can, talk. Lavier leaned in and whispered, I'm nervous. Should I just say hi? Smile, breathe, you're allowed to breathe, genius. But if you flail like a wet spaghetti noodle again, I'm disowning you. He looked more panicked. What if she thinks I'm creepy? Bro, calm down. Look her way and hold eye contact for 5 seconds. Don't look away. What if I panic and die? I shrugged, then I get your dessert drawer. Now go. Lavier nodded seriously like I'd just sent him to war. He peeked at her, and just then, Livia happened to look up too. Their eyes met. Boom. Direct contact. Lavier panicked and turned to me with wild eyes. I raised an eyebrow like, what now? He panicked again, looked back at her, froze, and then, as if struck by lightning, blushed hard, spun around, and slammed his head against the wall. I stared in disbelief. I slapped my forehead with a deadpan sigh. That was 0.5 seconds. Congrats. You're officially a golden retriever with a concussion. Lavier winced, holding his forehead. It hurts. Of course it does, genius. I chuckled, stepping closer. Let me see if you're bleeding. He immediately knelt down to my level, letting me check him. I gently brushed his hair aside, inspecting his forehead. It's just red, not bleeding. You're lucky, I said with a smile. You're honestly too funny. I laughed softly, lightly patting the spot he hit. Lavier stared at me like he'd seen a ghost, frozen. What? I asked, confused. Nothing, he mumbled, looking away quickly, his ears completely red now. Did he get hit too hard or something? I tilted my head curiously as he awkwardly stood up and smiled. I was about to head back to the dorms because my roommate had called, saying some professional tech guy had just delivered the laptop Lavier ordered for me. I wanted to check it out right away. But of course, Lavier had other plans. Check it later, he said, casually waving it off. It's just a laptop. Even if it's broken, who cares? I can get you another one. Typical rich guy. Instead, he dragged me to his apartment, promising there would be cake. And well, I'm a sucker for cake. As soon as I stepped inside, a maid came in with a massive tiered dessert cart, cakes, pastries, cupcakes, and everything in between. My eyes went wide like I'd seen heaven. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed a plate of cake and flopped onto the couch like it was my rightful throne. You rich people live like gods, I muttered through a mouthful. Damn, it was so good. Lavier sat beside me, smiling to himself. I think I could try doing more stuff. You know, to make her fall for me. I want to be good to her. You're already good, Lavier, I said, licking frosting off my lips. You're just dumb in love. He chuckled softly, but then his eyes briefly flicked to my lips before he asked, more quietly, do you think someone could ever fall for someone like me? By then, I'd finished my second cake and was holding my stomach like a grandma after dinner. I leaned back on the couch, feeling full, sleepy, and too lazy to move. Probably, if they like soft golden retriever boys who look like prince puppies and blush over eye contact. Lavier burst into laughter, and I giggled too, stretching out with a yawn. Drowsiness crept in fast, and before I realized, my head lolled sideways and landed right on Lavier's shoulder. He froze. Wide-eyed, barely breathing, he tilted his head slightly to glance at me. Then, very carefully, he shifted to make sure my head rested comfortably on his shoulder. He didn't move another inch after that. The room went silent, so silent he could hear his heartbeat. It had never beaten like this before. I think my heart is beating at the wrong time, for the wrong person, he whispered to no one but the air around him. It was the week of the school ceremony. Every day passed with me helping Lavier prepare, but honestly, it felt like he was more interested in buying me stuff and sticking to me than being alone with Livia. I wasn't sure anymore. Like right now, he was staring at me. I had just walked into the room, dressed in the outfit Livia bought me during that chaotic shopping spree. What are you acting shocked for? It's not like it's the first time you've seen me, I said, crossing my arms. His eyes widened, his ears and neck turning red. You look good, he muttered, covering his mouth. I felt a bit flustered and just nodded, muttering a quick thanks. I glanced at him from head to toe. He looked insanely good in a crisp white shirt, a red overshirt layered on top, and dark ripped jeans. His hair was styled perfectly. He looked so stupidly gorgeous that I didn't even hear someone telling me to move. They bumped into me, making me stumble, but Lavier instantly caught me, his hands firmly gripping my waist. Thanks, I muttered, smiling, not really in a rush to move, but he didn't let go. Lavier, you can let go now, I reminded, looking up. He was staring at me, eyes soft, like I was the most confusing equation he couldn't solve. Lavier, you back on Earth, huh, what? He snapped out of it. Let me go, idiot, I huffed, gesturing at his hands still on my waist. Can I not let go? It feels kinda nice, he mumbled. What? He instantly let go, awkwardly laughing and scratching the back of his neck. I stared at him, confused. What's going on with him lately? Just then, Damien called out my name. Lavier's expression changed immediately. He looked like someone just told him his cake got stolen. Don't go, he muttered. Calm down, will you? I rolled my eyes. Stay here, I'll be back, I said and walked toward Damien. When I returned, Lavier walked right up to me, impatient. What did you two talk about? Oh, nothing, he confessed, I said casually. He blinked, stunned by my calmness. What did you say? Of course I said no. We barely know each other, and it was sudden. I've never seen him that way. He took it well, though, said we could stay friends. I was okay with that. I smiled lightly. The confession had been surprising, sure. But when Damien said the word love, it was Lavier's face that flashed in my mind. That alone made my heart skip. And then came the guilt. I couldn't. Not when Lavier's in love with my best friend. That'd be so wrong. Before I could drown more in my thoughts, a pair of hands suddenly gripped my waist. What the hell are you doing, Lavier? I asked, genuinely confused as he pulled me close, just as another guy walked by. I was saving you, he said innocently. Oh right, it's a zombie apocalypse and you saved me. Thanks. Now let go. He didn't. Lavier, it's my waist, you can't just keep holding onto it whenever you want. I crossed my arms. Maybe I'd allow it, but not when you already have a crush. What would Livia think if she saw this? His eyes lingered on mine, then drifted to his hands still on me. After a moment, he finally let go, a flicker of disappointment crossing his face. What is up with him? Later, during the ceremony preparations, Livia was set to act in one of the plays. But the guy playing her boyfriend suddenly fell ill. She asked me to step in. I was terrified, me, on stage, with people watching, but she said it wasn't a big role. No lines, just standing beside her. I asked why she didn't ask Lavier. He'd totally steal attention in a good way. I did ask him first. He rejected, she said, confused herself. That really threw me off. So I went to find him. He was scrolling through his phone lazily when I asked, why didn't you say yes? Isn't it a great chance to be her boyfriend, at least on stage? Putting his phone down, he smiled. I just didn't want to. I frowned. Why? Then something clicked. Oh, I get it. You don't want to be her fake boyfriend. You want to be the real one, right? I wiggled my eyebrows proudly. I'm so smart. He stared at me like I'd grown 3 heads before sighing and rubbing his forehead. How are you this dumb? I blinked. Before I could ask what he meant, he leaned closer, hands suddenly back on my waist again. Lavier. I think my heartbeats moved on to someone else. Someone real, someone so right. He whispered, eyes locked onto mine, fingers pressing just slightly tighter. Before I could figure out what that meant, an announcement called everyone to get ready for the play. I pulled away from him. You're acting weird, I mumbled, watching him stare at his own hands like they held all his secrets. The play went well. I actually had 2 lines to say, just to declare I was her boyfriend and to tell the other guy to leave her alone. That was it, and yet, I was almost traumatized from all the people staring at me. As soon as the play ended, I rushed backstage, holding my chest while everyone else laughed. Stop laughing, okay, I glared at Livia, though I couldn't help chuckling too. I glanced around. Where's Lavier? I wondered. Just then, I noticed something odd, the tall camera stand behind Livia suddenly wobbling and about to fall right on her. My instincts kicked in faster than my brain. Livia, I exclaimed, shoving her out of the way as I threw myself forward. The metal pole slammed into my arm, making me land awkwardly on my side. Fuck, it hurt. Livia, are you okay? I asked, gasping, even as pain throbbed through me. But before I could finish, a strong hand grabbed my wrist. Lavier, I blinked in surprise as he knelt beside me, eyes fixed on my bleeding elbow. The clean white sleeve of my costume was stained red. Good you're here. Go check on Livia, I wheezed. This is your chance, impress her. Go be a prince. And princes carry the princess, but the words died in my throat. Because that's exactly what he did. But not to her, to me. He didn't even glance at Livia. He picked me up in a full-on princess carry, steady and firm. What the fuck? I yelped, hands scrambling to hold onto him as my arm screamed in pain. What are you doing? You're supposed to carry her, not me. Lavier, are you out of your damn mind? I shouted, stunned. He walked without even flinching. She's fine. You're injured, he said calmly, rushing toward the infirmary. He gently placed me on the bed and started borderline fighting with the nurse during my treatment, pacing and looking like a worried dad in a hospital drama. Do you think he's all right? Shouldn't we go to the hospital? You know what? I'll call an ambulance. Are you crazy? An ambulance for this? I swatted his hand away. I'm fine. It doesn't even hurt that much, I lied, grimacing. He stared at me, eyes soft and filled with worry, sitting beside me like a sad, lost puppy. I smacked his head lightly. Why are you here? You should go to Livia. How many times do I have to tell you, your first and foremost priority should be the one you love madly? I know, he said softly. And I am doing what you said. How? I frowned, about to scold him again when the realization slammed into me. My mind went blank. I blinked at him. Lavier was already watching me closely. What? I asked. He smiled. Have you realized it yet? Or should I buy you a new brain too? He teased. I nearly kicked him, but he went on, voice steady, sincere. As I said, my heart beats for someone real now. Someone terrifyingly right. It's not her anymore but him. He smiled at me. My eyes widened. Just then, there was a knock at the door. A delivery guy handed him something. Lavier thanked him and brought the box over to me. I blinked, confused, opening it. It was a small, cute cake box. Triple-layer strawberry cake, the exact one I'd gushed over on social media just yesterday. How did he even notice? How did he remember? It looked so perfect, so delicious. My chest tightened. He handed me the spoon, his voice low and warm. Do you get it now? I stared at him. That voice, those eyes, the way he looked at me now, it wasn't the same as when I thought he liked Livia. This was different, deeper, clearer. It wasn't a simple crush or confused affection. It was real. For me. I gulped, poked the spoon into the cake, and took a bite. The taste danced on my tongue, sweet and soft, just like his words, and the realization that finally bloomed in my heart. I was so busy processing everything that I didn't even realize the cake was gone, until Lavier gently took the box from my hands and wiped the corner of my lips with his thumb. Then he spoke, answering the questions I didn't dare ask out loud. Before the play started, Livia came and asked me to be her fake boyfriend for the act. Turns out, she knew about my crush on her. And I guess she also knew it was just that, a crush. Nothing real. She even pointed out that while trying to make her fall for me, I ended up falling for someone else instead. A real kind of love. Which is you, of course. He smiled softly. Are you serious? I groaned, facepalming. Yup. He grinned, literally like a happy puppy wagging its tail if he had one. Now forget about her. Let's talk about us. Tim, please be mine, he exclaimed. It took me a while, but I'm sure now. You're the one I want. I love you. I love your smile. I love your attention. I love your waist. He stopped, biting his lip with a smirk. Seriously, I slapped my forehead with my good hand. He chuckled and instantly wrapped his arms around my waist. Yeah, who said you could hold my waist? Let go, I said, trying to hold back a smile. Why not? Sooner or later you're going to let me hold it anyway, he said with a soft laugh, leaning in and resting his head on my shoulder, breathing in and out like he had never felt such relief and joy before. Our heartbeats were in sync. No, wait, if you're my boyfriend now, does that mean I won't be your wingman anymore? So no more free stuff, I teased with a pout. He looked at me, amused. Are you dumb? Before, it was just a deal. But now I'm all yours. As your boyfriend, don't you think you have even more access to everything I have? I giggled. Guess you're right, I smiled. He laughed too, his eyes locked on mine. Then, slowly, he leaned closer. Understanding what he wanted, I leaned in too, just a little. And our lips met in a soft, beautiful kiss. In that moment, we both knew we had fallen into the right arms. He held my waist tightly, finally sure I was the one for him. Just like I was for him. Only difference now, I wouldn't feel guilty anymore. I was ready to give him my heart, and call him mine.